The home of the common Joe and the common Sally in the know, even more so than all those media talking heads. Random thought of the day. College football fight songs in Chinese. Can you guess them? If you can, then you are indeed a college football connoisseur. Now, I'm going to give you an easy one to start it off with. Here it goes. Sing Sakamoku, Shanpai Tu, Beijing, 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 Ho Che Bi, Sika Maludu, Egro, Esakamoche Nakataka, Wesepan, Hip Hop Poo, Dinga Da, Esuletini Mana City, Gere Sherepa, Wasakadima, Who won, Sika Kamoku Pachana. Can you guess that? College football song in Chinese. Now, let's get to the topic of the day. Let's talk about it. Well, how's it going out there today, boys and girls in sporting land? This is another episode of OCF, that's the Outlaw of College Football. That's me, JPC, also known as Jesse Paul Clark on Facebook, spelled Jessc without the I. Also on Twitter at OCF Productions. Now, getting right to it here. Seems like old Nick Saban had a few words to say about all these NIL characters out there. All these... I guess for lack of a better term, these high school divas. These high school players are becoming more and more emboldened about asking for money and basically wanting to be paid for never proving themselves. I'm going to throw some graphics up here periodically about what Nick Saban had to say. It was cited on Outkick, the coverage with Clay Travis. But got me a few notes here. Says that Nick Saban let go of one highly ranked recruit and a current player because they demanded $1 million from the University of Alabama. Now, from what Nick Saban is saying, these two players have never really proven themselves. So he told them to take a hike. He told them they could leave. Also, one of those was, like it says here, one of the best corners in high school asked for $800,000 up front from Saban. And he told him to take a hike, according to Baker High School coach Steve Norman. So, I mean, we haven't really got to name any names. I mean, you can Google this stuff for yourself and find out who these kids are. If they're still kids or 18 years old, they're not kids, but some of them are 17-year-old kids. So I'm not going to go out there and just throw some minors out on blast here on the talk show here, but that's some pretty funny stuff to me. Saban, once again, as I said, he said they need to prove themselves. And that's a great point. You know, you get a lot of people on here that hating on Saban. Now, I have myself called Nick Saban out quite a few times, but when Nick Saban's right and Alabama's right, I'm going to take up for them. Yes, they're my team. You may accuse me of being biased, but I'm not being biased. I promise you. I've called Nick Saban and Alabama out numerous times. The people have watched my show and watched my previous show that I used to have before I got censored. Mr. Metzelplixen. You can look that up. I'll have to give you the spelling sometimes if you want to see some of my older videos. But he's right. Texas A&M screwed the pooch on this. And people will come back and deflect on this video and try to say, well, Nick Saban threw Jimbo Fisher and Deion Sanders on the bus when he's talking about them paying players. No, he didn't. And that has nothing to do usually with the topic at hand, number one. But since you want me to address it, I will address it. He didn't throw him under the bus. He maybe shouldn't have mentioned them by name, but he did. And he wasn't really saying they were doing anything illegal. You never heard the word illegal come out of his mouth. He was talking to his boosters. And the media that was there took it and run with it. Because what you have is a lot of hate for Alabama and Nick Saban. And if you say it don't exist, then you're being naive. Any program that's as successful as Alabama's, whether it be Alabama, Ohio State, Georgia, Oklahoma in the past, people are going to hate on these programs because they're perennial powers that have been around for over 100 years and have dominated a lot of people and emasculated a lot of programs. So when they find something they can run with, they do. But Nick Saban is right on point with this. You can't go around paying these players $800,000 and $1 million as high school seniors. You can, and they may pan out, and you may get that that extravaganza player that puts on a show, wins a Heisman Trophy, puts your program in the playoffs, maybe even win a national championship. But then there's probably 5 or 6 others for that one that's not going to work out. What's going to end up happening is some of these universities are going to run out of money eventually. Even Texas A&M in Texas, who got all that oil money, eventually they're going to run out of money. I mean, just look I'm not sure about the whole Quinn Ewers situation, but look what he done. He went to Ohio State, got money from Ohio State, then left Ohio State without ever playing a down, not any real down anyway. He might have come in and downed the ball, and then he went back to Texas. Now, they may have made him recoup that. They may have made him repay that. I don't know. I hope they did. I hope they had some kind of thing in writing that if he didn't finish or play at Ohio State, that he had to pay the money back. Because that definitely should be something that these players have to do. But I don't see where these players get off. And another thing, Saban said that the NCAA needs to wade in on this. Instead of just letting it be the wild, wild west and being anarchy, they need to wade in on this. You can get all these people, the relatives of these players usually are the culprits, hyping these kids up when they're about 16 or 17 and telling them they need to expect this much money without ever proving himself on a college football level. Because when you go from high school to college, man, that's a big transition, just like it is from college to the NFL. And these people just want handouts. They want to ride on the back of their kids, and that's sad. They want a handout. You got to prove yourself, man. Just like a job, you got to go in and prove yourself usually before you get a raise or get a promotion. They want it just already given to them just based on their high school achievements only. That's just not how it works. It don't work that way in the NFL. They want to say they deserve to be paid, and they do deserve to be paid, but they don't deserve to be overpaid and come in and dictate stuff that's not feasible without any kind of real rules in place. I mean, even the NFL has rules. You want to make that money, you've got to do what it takes to make that money. You've got to play by the rules that are in place so that money's going to be there for everybody down the road, not just for you. And the sport of football, we want it to be around so everybody else can play it and make money possibly doing it too, right? But I don't get these relatives that come in and think these kids have all these rights all of a sudden. They need to be making this much money right now. Because it's not that way in the NFL. I don't see these college football players going in as rookies and demanding, that, hey, this is what's going to happen. This is the team I'm going to play for, and this is the money I'm going to make. That don't happen in the NFL. First of all, you get drafted. You don't get shut sometimes. Sometimes they do. But most of the time, you don't get to choose the team you play for. And they got trade agreements and salary caps. College football don't have none of that. You want to be paid like NFL players and make NFL money, but you don't want to put the work in and play by the rules that you need to play by in order to make that money fairly. And that's where I have a big issue with it. And I hope it goes away. I hope they just oversaturate it and just squander all that money, and there's nothing left for them to make except maybe a $50,000 scholarship that they get, because they're just basically taking advantage of the situation and just being unrealistic about the whole damn thing. And it really pisses me off. It's ruining college football, in my opinion, in a way. Because the NCAA don't want to wade in. So they need to come up with another governmental organization to run this thing. They need to come up with another voted upon organization to run college athletics, in my opinion. But that's all I got to say about that. You guys and gals, drop in the comment section, tell me what you think about all this. Can y'all give me some proposals that would be fair, to be more in line with being realistic about the expectations of what a high school senior or an 18-year-old person should be making? Also, there's a little heart down here. If you don't mind, hit that. Put me a few dollars in the coffers. And as always, KMCA to all the other teams. Class is now officially dismissed.